Hey there folks, welcome back to A Head Full Wealth Management, where we aim to give you comprehensive information on crucial topics in an easy to understand format. Today we are going to be covering the important topic for anyone who's getting ready to transition out of the military, building your bridge fund. Let's start at the beginning. What is a bridge fund? Well, it's a financial resource designed to help someone in a transition in their life. In this case, we're speaking about you transitioning from active duty military to civilian life. Okay, so now that we know what a bridge fund is, let's talk about why it's so important. Transitioning from active duty involves several financial challenges. The bridge fund serves as a financial safety net during this period, allowing you to focus on adapting to your new lifestyle. So let's talk about the first of those challenges, your final active duty paycheck and all the fits and starts that will come up with your different pays as you go along. So adding some predictability to this unpredictable time will help you plan your finances. I usually work better with examples, so let's take one of a military member who is retiring on July 1. So here you can see I have all the months listed across the top of the spreadsheet. You can simply just substitute whatever month it is that you're going to be transitioning from active duty to retirement in for the one that I have listed. In this case, we said that 1 July was their first day of retirement, so they would expect their last normal paycheck on 30 June, but that paycheck is withheld by the military. So they will get one on 15 June, and they will not get one on 30 June. That one can take up to 90 days until the military makes sure that you don't owe them any money. So in June, you get one paycheck instead of two. In July, you actually get no retirement paycheck because it's paid in arrears, meaning that you won't get your first paycheck until you've been retired for the entire month. So that comes in on August. That's when you get your first retirement paycheck. Now remember that 90-day withheld paycheck is going to come in at the latest in September. It could come in August. Make sure that you're on the lookout for that one. And then VA disability pay. Depending on when you file, it can take up to 12 months for that to start. That's a little bit of a long timeline on it, so just be prepared. 6 months is probably more realistic. 3 months is extremely optimistic. So you could start getting it as soon as October, but the realistic time is sometime in December or January that you would start that disability pay. And that's again at the earliest. And that's if you file right away. Then you have your encore job. Are you going to get that job after your retirement? If you don't get it right after, when will you? You would start putting in the pay whenever you decide to start work. Okay, so hopefully at this point we've convinced you that you need a bridge fund, but now the question is how much of a bridge fund? So what I would suggest is that you take a look at your current spending by looking at your bank account and at your credit cards, and just look at the last couple of months and determine how much you spent each month on all of the different things you use for your monthly spending. Add those all up, divide by the number of months, and then that should give you an idea of how much in funds you need per month. Then what you can do is you can make some predictions about when you think your different pays are going to start or end, and then add a little bit of a buffer and subtract the two from each other, and that will come out with the amount that you need in your bridge fund. So let's take that abstract and put it into some practical numbers here that we can all relate to. Okay, so I don't do very well with just hypothetical examples. I like ones with the numbers to make it more concrete. So in the past, we've used an E8 retiring at 20 years of service that was stationed in Cape Cod. So we're going to do that same thing again. So again, we have an E8 retiring at 20 years of service. That means they would be getting about $8,000 a month in pay and BAH. In June, they would get a $4,000 paycheck. And now we're going to make the assumption here and say that their expenses, remember we calculated this by adding up what we spend each month and then dividing by the total number of months that we use to calculate it. And we're going to say about $7,000 a month. That means they have a $3,000 gap in the month of June. So they need to have at least $3,000 in savings and beyond their emergency to get them through the month of June. In July, they're actually not going to get any pay, and so they're going to have everything saved. So that means they're going to need $7,000 in the month of July. So now we're up to $10,000 set aside for this transition part. This bridge month in August, they're going to get their first retirement check of $4,200. So they're going to also start their next career of $1,000 a month because they wanted a part-time easy job. So that's $5,200 a month is what they're going to end up with, and they're still going to have an $1,800 gap that they need to cover. Now in the month of September, they're going to get that $4,000 paycheck that was withheld, so they'll end up with a $2,200 surplus because of that. So again, remember, I said this is fits and starts, so we need to just even this out for ourselves, and that's why we have the bridge fund. In October, again, they're going to have an $1,800 gap, and in November, again, an $1,800 gap. Once then the VA disability pay starts coming in, you're going to actually have a $200 a month surplus, so the minimum they would need would be at $12,800 to cover the entire gap. An ideal amount with a buffer would be something more like $15,400 in my opinion. Before we wrap up, if you're finding this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. We have a lot more informative videos coming up, and we'd love for you to join our A Head Full Wealth community. And there you have it, a comprehensive guide to planning for your military retirement bridge fund. Remember, while the bridge fund is critical for your financial security, your transition into civilian life is going to involve more because we want you to have a meaningful post-military life. The bridge fund is a tool that can do just that by giving you the flexibility to land in the right post-military career. So if you're nearing retirement or know someone who is, we hope this video has been helpful. Don't forget to subscribe, and until next time, remember to live life at a head full.